Hey everybody, welcome back to Hearthstone Arena, Northernlion's Den. We bowed out of the arena, unfortunately, on the last match. We ended up going 6-3 with our mage, which is actually pretty solid in my opinion. And now we have a choice between Warrior, Rogue, and Shaman. Now, I just did a Shaman run 2 runs ago. I think I'm going to go Warrior. Warrior had a few cards buffed after the wipe. Rogue actually got nerfed, and also I went like 2-3 or 3-3 when I played as a Warrior, and I went 0-3 when I played as a Rogue, and that was before this class was made worse and this class was made better. So I'm gonna play as a Warrior this time and try to build a deck that is good. Now, again, I will go through my analysis of this cards. Your advice may differ. This is just what I know from my experience. Ancient Watcher, terrible card. So it's either between Crazed Alchemist, which is a 2/2 2-mana drop, which is, you know, a little bit less than you would expect to get, but the ability to swap the attack and health of a minion is good, and Commanding Shout, your minions can't be reduced below 1 health this turn, and you draw a card. So you play 2 mana, you draw a card, and you can really use this to get some board control. Like, if you, let's say you have an Oasis Snapjaw, and you attack, like, Lord of the Arena or something like that. Well, not Lord of the Arena, man, Stormwind Champion, you'll still live, which is pretty remarkable. So I think Commanding Shout is maybe the best here. We'll also be on the lookout for some weapons. There are some really, really good Warrior cards. Warsong Commander, chief among them. 2/3 for 3 mana, so it's like a little bit more expensive River Crocolisk, but your other minions have charge, so if you play this on the same turn you play other minions, you get a ton of value out of it. Well, not even on the same turn, but if it lives longer, then you get more out of it. Youthful Brewmaster is a great card. Whirlwind, 1 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions. This is a tough one. Wisp is not in, it's not in the cards right now. Haha, it's so clever. Youthful Brewmaster is pretty good. And Whirlwind I've never actually used, so it does 1 damage to all minions. Yeah, it seems like this could be good for getting some board control. Obviously, it's situational, whereas Youthful Brewmaster's not, but we'll take Whirlwind. It's a little funky. Okay, now in this case, Ancient Brewmaster I like a lot. Youthful Brewmaster I like a lot. Rampage, give a damaged minion +3/+3 for 2 mana. That, you know, honestly, that seems really good as well. So we'll take that. Obviously, we've got to pick up some creatures. Acidic Swamp Ooze is kind of a no-brainer 2-mana drop. The Battle Cry is super useful. Even if we don't get use out of it, it still provides us with a ton of benefit just by being a 3/2 2-mana drop. Cleave does 2 damage to 2 random enemies. Shield Block, gain 5 armor. Sorry, 2 random enemy minions, which is important. Shield Block, gain 5 armor, draw a card. I like Cleave in this situation, kind of like a shittier version of Multi-Shot, but also much cheaper. Murloc Tidehunter is a pretty bad card in my opinion. Since we're not going to necessarily focus on building a Pirate deck, South Sea Deckhand is not the greatest card. War Golem is not an option for me right now in my opinion. It's either Ancient Brewmaster or South Sea Deckhand, but since we don't have any weapons yet, I think Ancient Brewmaster might be a safer choice. A 1 mana 2/1 drop is pretty good, but it's much better value if we have weapons. And since we're a Warrior, we'll probably get weapons, but you can't bank on it yet, so I'm going to go with Ancient Brewmaster instead. Again, we will probably, almost certainly get weapons, but I'm going to take River Crocolisk here again because we don't have necessarily any extra... we don't have any weapons, and we don't necessarily have a pirate-focused deck, so River Crocolisk seems like the best choice to me. Get up and slam! It's ready for the jam. Again, I'm a total poser who doesn't listen to Quad City DJs anymore. Deal 2 damage to a minion. If it survives, draw a card. You know, 2 mana for 2 damage is not that good. Dragonling Mechanic is not that great of a card either. And Leper Gnome's alright for 1 mana. I think I kind of already have too much in the way of spells, though. I have 4 out of 8 cards are spells. So I almost want to take Leper Gnome here to just be a reasonably okay 1 mana drop. But Dragonling Mechanic is okay as well, but there are much better 4 mana cards. But we get the card draw out of Slam, so it's 2 mana and you draw it. Let's take Leper Gnome. This is a tough choice. Slam was probably better. Some very good cards here. Argent Commander is a really good card. Armor Smith, whenever a friendly minion takes damage, gain 1 armor. It's a 2 mana drop. 4 health as a 2 mana drop makes it pretty hard to kill. Does the armor gain, would that provide me with some value? Probably, but I prefer Knife Juggler just because I think it allows me to get more board control. Argent Commander, also a very good card, though. But anyway, we've got a lot of 2 mana cards now. Give a friendly minion charge. Pretty good for 0 mana. Yeah, we'll take that. Gnomish Inventor was my other choice. Okay. I haven't been very happy with a lot of the choices we've had so far. Normally, I would probably take Mad Bomber here, because I love Mad Bomber, even though you have to pray to RNGesus to get it to work. But I think because I have the 0-mana charge card, and I have one Warsong Commander, and we'll be looking to get more if possible, Raid Leader might be worthwhile, because I can play Raid Leader and then give someone charge, and I'm effectively getting a lot of damage out of it. But, you know, it's more expensive than Mad Bomber. It's got worse stats. The Battle Cry is maybe a wash due to it being completely random, but we'll take Raid Leader here. Corehound is a terrible card. I didn't take Slam last time. I'm going to take Frostwolf Warlord, though, because it's good. Fiery War Axe. Cult Master is also very good. I hate Corehound. But we're going to take Fiery War Axe. It's nice to have a weapon, get some board control. And in fact, I'll take Arcanite Reaper as well. These are some of my favorite warrior cards. So we have Slam. Deal 2 damage to a minion if it survives, draw a card. Archmage, which I don't like, and Reckless Rocketeer, which I don't like. This is like 6 damage for 5 mana, which I really dislike. Archmage can be okay. I mean, we have, you know, Whirlwind will now deal 2 damage. Cleave will now deal 3 damage to 2 enemies. Commanding Shout doesn't have anything. Rampage, I don't think I think has nothing either. Why don't we take Slam in this situation? Get some card draw, do some damage. Okay, so it's another rare choice. I hate all of these, like a lot. Angry Chicken. Is there any way that we could get the synergy from Angry Chicken to like, keep it alive? Do we have any cards that could bump it up? Commanding Shout, but then that wouldn't do anything. Whirlwind, deal 1 damage to all enemies. Nope, but okay, I don't like playing Arcane Golem because it gives the enemy a or it gives the enemy a mana crystal. But Secret Keeper is shitty as well because, you know, unless we're playing against a deck that has a ton of secrets in it, we're not going to get anything out of it. But at least we can't accidentally, like, screw ourselves with Secret Keeper. There's no warrior secrets, I think. I'm going to take Secret Keeper. This is the worst decision, though. Angry Chicken, there's nothing I can do about it right now. Arcane Golem has the potential to shoot me in the foot. At least Secret Keeper isn't going to be a card that's going to end up killing myself. I'm going to take Cleave again. I don't like the other 2 cards at all. Okay, so we have an epic choice here. Blood Knight. I've never seen this card. Oh, no, yes, I have. All minions lose Divine Shield, gain +3/+3 for each shield lost. Unlikely that this is going to get any benefit. So 3 mana for a 3/3 is still alright, but I think Gore Howl is better. And Sea Giant is okay, but I don't like it that much. Pint-Sized Summoner and Demolisher are both really, really excellent cards. I don't like the Wild Pyromancer, but Summoner and Demolisher are both good. Summoner used to be a lot better. Demolisher might be a better choice now. They're both fun. I don't know. Let's take Pint-Sized Summoner. Maybe we'll get another chance to get Demolisher. So, on this one, Shield Block. I don't really like it. I'm looking at my deck, and I'm like, we only have 9 cards left. We have a fuck ton of 2-mana cards. Spellbreaker I'll take. I need the Silence. Well, at this point, we need some bigger creatures. We have serious holes in the back of our deck. I think we'll take War Golem, 7/7 for 7 mana. Windfury Harpy. But Windfury Harpy combined with a charge card or a Warsong Commander would be really useful. So let's go with that instead. Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Whenever a minion dies, gain +1 attack. That could be extremely useful with some of the cards that we have. Fairy Dragon, also very good, but I'm going to go Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Shattered Sun Cleric is probably the best. I hate Silverback Patriarch. Cobalt Geomancer can be very effective, but Shattered Sun Cleric seems more immediately useful for me. Now, Alarmabot, I don't like. If you upgrade, if you have a weapon, give it +1/+1. How would that synergize? We'd have a 4/3, technically, depending on when we get it. Or, upgrade could be useful here, but we have a lot of cards and some decent card draw as well. So Twilight Drake is pretty good. I'm going to go Twilight Drake, but upgrade is a tempting choice. Alarmabot I don't like at all. Okay, Cruel Taskmaster. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it +2 attack. Wolf Rider and Frostwolf Warlord. Cruel Taskmaster could be very effective. Yes, indeed. Even if we just used it to deal 1 damage to a 1 health creature on the enemy side, it would kill it. Frostwolf Warlord is also really nice, though, so I think I'm going to go with that because I've already got so many cards, in the early part of the mana curve here. So we'll go with Frostwolf Warlord. And honestly, I think I should take an Arcanite Reaper. We have a lot of weapons, obviously, but I don't mind taking these. Dark Iron Dwarf is probably our best card by far here. And we have another rare choice. Ancient Mage, Ravenhold Assassin, and Mana Wraith. I think we take Ravenhold Assassin in this situation. Ancient Mage, 2/5 is not good stats for a 4-mana card. Obviously, the Battle Cry is very useful for the spell damage +1, but we do have a lot of spells, but I think Ravenhold Assassin is better. And that's going to be our Warrior deck. What do I like about this? Let's talk likes, dislikes, and neutrals, things that could go either way. I like having 4 weapons, and weapons spread across basically many different levels of mana. The Fiery War Axe is like 3 mana, Arcanite Reaper's 5, Gore Howl 7. I like that we have at least 1 Warsong Commander. I would have loved to have had 3 or 4 of them. But this is fine, and we'll see how this shakes out. We're going to be playing against a Paladin first. Apart from that, I don't remember too much about this deck. I like having some removal. I like having Pint-Sized Summoner that I can play on the second turn. First turn, technically. We're going to get rid of Ravenhold Assassin. We might keep Twilight Drake for now. And hope that we get another low mana card. Maybe, hey, Leper Gnome. The thing is, I don't want to send out Leper Gnome until we already have Knife Juggler out there. But next turn we could play Leper Gnome for 0. If we coin Pint-Sized Summoner, it lives. Leper Gnome goes out for 0. So, we might as well say greetings. And, as usual, first game of Hearthstone Arena with a new deck. Always kind of a scary position to be in. You don't know if the deck you have is great or horrible. But at the very least, I think I got a very good draw to start with here. This guy's got some tough decisions. Maybe he has a 1-mana secret. Can that even happen as a Paladin? Let me think. Okay, well, he probably just had a brain fart there. That's okay, though. So we'll do that. And I don't remember if the Paladin actually has 2 mana or 2 damage cards with 2 mana. We'll see. What's ideal next turn? Well, maybe he plays a Silverhand Recruit with his hero power. We summon Knife Juggler, which will cost 1. Leper Gnome, which will then cost 1 as well. And then we have a ton of shit on the board, and we cause some problems for him. If we at least get, 1 creature out on the next turn, and the Pint-Sized Summoner survives, it's been silenced. That's actually a really good choice for him. Okay, 2 mana. Well, we can either Leper Gnome nothing, or Knife Juggler. And since Pint-Sized Summoner is silenced now, I think the best play is Knife Juggler out, and then Pint-Sized Summoner to trade for the Owl, just because he could trade his Owl for my Knife Juggler next turn, and then, I'd rather have Knife Juggler alive than my 2/2 Pint-Sized Summoner without the special ability. So, that was a good play from him, I think. Baiting out the silence means it's not terrible for me. I didn't necessarily get the value I wanted out of Pint-Sized Summoner, but basically we swapped our 2 mana cards for one another, in my opinion at least. Next turn, with 3 mana, we do Leper... Well, it depends what we top deck, but right now it looks like, all other things being equal, Leper Gnome, Armor Up. And this is where it gets good, because if that's all he can do on this turn, we Leper Gnome, Knife Juggler could kill the Silverhand Recruit, and that's good news. We drew Shield Block, which is honestly actually pretty tempting, because then we can, Shield Block, gain 5 armor, draw a card, Twilight Drake becomes more useful on the next turn. But instead, we'll probably just Leper Gnome and see how this works. It was a cute play is what it was, but I don't really like it that much. And we'll Armor Up and start to get a little buffed here. And now it's like a tough choice, right? Do you attack the Silverhand Recruit or the hero directly? And I think we attack the Silverhand Recruit just so we can't get Leper Gnome off the field. And he still has to find a way to deal 1 damage. Maybe he summons a weapon or something like that. If so, maybe not the best play for me, but so be it. Next turn, it'll be Twilight Drake. It'll drop as a 4/5. Of course, if I can get Shield Block out, it's maybe a little bit better. If he summons a glorious minion, we might Spellbreaker instead. Silence it. Maybe even kill it. We'll see. For now, I feel pretty good, and it's nice having the card draw. Mogushan Warden, the 7-mana taunt, is a little frustrating. Commanding Shout. Your minions can't be reduced below 1 health this turn and draw a card. I think we send out Spellbreaker, we silence Mogushan Warden. But then what do we do? Like, we can't do anything after that. Is there even any point to silencing Mogushan Warden? Well, if we send out, Spellbreaker, silences him. Will do 1 damage, hopefully to him. How much is this? This is a 4-mana card, 1/7. If we silence him, he's like a shittier Oasis Snapjaw. But then I lose my silence, which is pretty big. Alright, let's do it. This is fine. We'll silence you, and we get 1 attack. Sure, that's fine. We might as well Leper Gnome you. Maybe I should have attacked him directly and waited to Leper Gnome until the next turn. This is fine though. Not ideal, but what's done is done, right? Next turn we'll have 5 mana. Yep, that's a smart play. And I'd really like to draw an Arcanite Reaper. He will be able to pull back some board control here. Commanding Shout is unlikely to work for me. We get Twilight Drake. Again, it'll be a 4/5. But it kind of... Shield Block doesn't really give us that many cards back anyway. I think I misplayed back there. I don't know how, though, and that's the problem. But drawing a piece of equipment would make my life a lot easier here. We also have Whirlwind, deal 1 damage to all minions. We could maybe use that in combination with a Commanding Shout. Nightblade is a pretty bad card in my opinion, so I'm not super concerned about that. We got Arcanite Reaper. That's basically exactly what I wanted. So, we will Arcanite Reaper, destroy Nightblade, so that, you know, we'll take some damage, but that's what warriors do. And, you know, obviously I want to hit him and kill Mogushan Warden, but a 1/1, I would rather just hit the Paladin directly and start whittling him down. Next turn, 6 mana. Twilight Drake, Commanding Shout, maybe. I guess we'd play, yeah, Twilight Drake, Commanding Shout. Or Shield Block is kind of better later. Well, you know, maybe we should have killed Mogushan Warden when we had the chance, but if the creature was gonna die anyway, it was gonna die anyway, right? Actually, that might have let it live for a while. I just can't bring myself to kill like a 1 health creature. We need to get something out on the board. Frostwolf Warlord is a terrible play. Acidic Swamp Ooze doesn't do anything for us, but by the same token, it's not that bad either. So I think we Twilight Drake while it's still a 4/5. Yeah, and Commanding Shout does nothing. Armor is not worth it here. I think we just send out an Acidic Swamp Ooze instead. And we attack the Harvest Golem. And that's going to lose us our Arcanite Reaper, but that's fine. Now, we could, assuming he'll probably trade Damaged Golem for Acidic Swamp Ooze. Depending on what he has in his hand, of course. Consecration could be a real problem here. He could Consecrate and just clear the board. If anything lives, Frostwolf Warlord is pretty good. Especially if we get like a 1-mana creature I can just put out just before it. Or even a 2-mana creature. Equality, okay, well... That's going to let him clear this board off pretty easily. So he gets a lot of value out of those creatures. I can't believe that's only a 1-mana card as well. Now it's a real problem because I only have the Frostwolf Warlord, which is a 5-mana 4/4 right now, which is really bad. But we'll see. Dark Iron Dwarf is not good enough yet. I almost think we... I mean, we want to put out something else, right? Like we want to put out a Frostwolf Warlord. But I also want a Shield Block. Shield Block, then we play Dark Iron Dwarf, but we don't get the value out of it. The Shield Block is just for the card draw. So, 4 health. He'd have to sacrifice both of his creatures. This is a waste of Frostwolf Warlord to some extent, but it's got to be done. Commanding Shout gives us card draw, but it's not worth it yet. I think we just armor up, hope for the best here. I've lost control of this game. It's not necessarily over yet by any stretch of the imagination. No one's rolling with a lot of cards right now. We're both at roughly the same amount of health. But I would be surprised if the cards that he has are worse than the cards that I have, because I have some pretty not great cards. Weapon draw would be pretty important here. We still have like 19 cards in our deck. Jeez. Yeah, a weapon draw would be nice, whether it's Fiery War Axe or our second Arcanite Reaper or Gorehowl. Give a minion +4/+4. Okay, so he'll use that to attack me, and then or to kill Frostwolf Warlord, and then he'll be able to attack me again with Wind Fury. So we need to knock that creature out ASAP. Tauren Warrior has Taunt, which is a very frustrating card to have to deal with. He's going to have complete board control now. Does that get a bonus from being enraged? Oh, it does. Oh, when it's enraged, it has Wind Fury. Before that, it doesn't. All right, this is slipping away. Give a damaged minion +3/+3. Not really that useful right now. So, shield block, and we draw a card. That card is very important. I don't know what to do. We could, like, okay, Shattered Sun Cleric, sure. And then Commanding Shout. We don't get the value out of it, but it's 2 mana for a card draw, which I kind of need right now. And that's not going to do it. I'm pretty sure we're done. In fact, we're done on this turn, aren't we? If not done, we're close. I'll send him the yield. Well played. It's been a while since I lost my first match of Arena, I think, so it's a little bit disappointing. 2 damage will take me down to 19, and he has exactly 19 damage on the board. Well played. You kicked my ass there. Some gross misplays from me, and we'll go down 0-1. Disappointing start to this deck. And of course, this is where you get a little anxious, you know, when you're playing as a new deck and you're like, oh shit, well, let's see what our daily is today. All right. You get a little bit nervous because you're like, shit, am I going to go 0-3 with this Arena deck? That's always disheartening. Especially because I went 0-3 as a Rogue like 5 arenas ago. And Rogue was considered widely the best class then. And now the possibility of going 0-3 as a Warrior appears. And Warrior is widely considered pretty good right now. But I will say that one of the reasons it's considered very good is because of a card called Battle Rage that allows you to draw 1 card for every damaged character, so that includes minions. So you could potentially draw, like, 5 or 6 cards for 2 mana, which is dumb. This is a very good draw for us, honestly. Go second. The only thing I don't like is this Dark Iron Dwarf. I mean, it's a good card, but I would love a lower mana creature. That'll do. We probably won't be able to get the Battlecry bonus out of it, which makes it pretty poor value, but that's fine. And what we do is if he plays nothing, which, you'd expect a Warrior to do. We could play Secret Keeper on our first turn, but it's not going to let us kill any, 2 mana draw, or, 2 mana drops. 2 mana drops with 1 health, exceptionally rare. So we coin Fiery War Axe instead. This will allow us to establish board control and presumably hold it until we're able to do something better. I'll probably play the Secret Keeper on the next turn. Honestly, the Secret Keeper at this point, it's almost only good for us because it gives us plus damage plus health for a Twilight Drake. Obviously, Whirlwind is useless here, but we'll send out the Secret Keeper. Fine. We're not going to do 1 damage to all minions. That seems dumb. Secret Keeper was one of those cards where I'm sure he's looking at this right now and he's like, why the fuck is a Warrior taking Secret Keeper? I didn't have any choice, okay? It was either this or Arcane Golem, which would give you more mana to possibly crush me with. What I'm hoping is that he plays a 3 mana, 2 health drop. I can Whirlwind and then sacrifice Secret Keeper for it. Although, actually, I could just buff. I don't want to buff Secret Keeper, but if a 2-3 creature is a little bit more viable than a 1-2 creature. In fact, we will be able to kill... Oh, no, we won't. Oh, yeah, we'll just kill Warsong Commander immediately. Like this. That's just smart play right there. Warsong Commander going out that early tells me that he doesn't really have that much in his hand. Otherwise, he would play it. Because, Warsong Commander, you want to use it when you have, other minions that can actually get a benefit out of it, or when you're positive that it's going to live. And obviously, it did not live in that situation. So I do have some pretty nice board control now. Not just by way of my Fiery War Axe, but I also have a couple creatures on the field. We can sacrifice... give a friendly minion charge. I don't want to spoil this for him. If he wants to do that, by all means. But that's what I was going to do on the next turn anyway, is sacrifice Shattered Sun Cleric. Yeah, he's in a weird spot. Arathi Weaponsmith is a pretty good card. He's going to hit me directly, which I am totally fine with. Secret Keeper is actually getting way more value than I thought it would. So we'll put out Raid Leader, because we can. And we'll put out Leper Gnome. My guess is that he's probably going to use his weapon to kill Raid Leader. That's fine by me. And we'll just keep on keeping on here. I'm not going to use my weapon to attack him, because I'd rather use it to keep the board clear. 5 mana is kind of a bad spot for us to be. But maybe I can get some value out of Whirlwind or Cleave, or both if necessary. Or I could just top deck a creature that I could play and keep some momentum going. What is he, like applying a card to another card? Earthen Ring Farseer is pretty good, but, you know, that gives us an easy target for Fiery War Axe. Ooh. Okay. Well, now he's got to choose. Leper Gnome has done some damage. That's a good card. Cleave's fine. In my opinion, at least. Then he's gonna hit us directly? Nah, please hit us directly. If you hit me directly, I can just trade Secret Keeper for Earthen Ring Farseer, keep board control, and still have my weapon, which I think is a lot better. So we drew a 4-mana card. We don't have the silence, though. That's the problem. So, of course, I could hit him. I could Whirlwind is a bad choice. Unless I attack, Whirlwind, trade. No, that's bad. I could hit him and keep both of these creatures alive. I don't like that, though. I like trading Secret Keeper for Earthen Ring Farseer here, keeping our weapon, and maybe playing Spellbreaker, even though we don't get the value from the silence. 4-3 for 4. It's actually going to be a 5-3 because of the Raid Leader, but the Raid Leader will probably die soon after, so I think we'll do this. And normally, I would not... Oh, wait a minute. Yes, that's Raid Leader. Yeah, that's fine. Normally, I would not do this. Oh, no! Don't do it! I have to silence the Raid Leader, which makes it not very good. Well, you know, shit's gotta happen, I guess, so.
Your magic shall not save you.
That's unfortunate. I should have played this and silenced his minion before, and then I would still have +1 attack, but shit happens. You learn something new every day. It's just something to think about. I think the thing is, I didn't actually think I would play Spellbreaker on that turn, and I normally wouldn't, but I didn't have a choice. Shield block, gain 5 armor, draw a card. Fine by me. It basically means he's taking this turn off, I think. He'll probably play one more card. Hopefully it's not a removal card. It's a taunt, which I can just hit with my Fiery War Axe. Arcanite Reaper would be a great draw right now. Ancient Brewmaster, pretty good as well. Because like an Ancient Brewmaster... Oh, I would also just love to win Fury Harpy, of course. So let's go over our options here. Attack directly. 6 damage, Wind Fury Harpy goes out. We could also Ancient Brewmaster, pull back. There's no point in pulling back Spellbreaker and then using it to silence the Grizzly because we're just going to kill it anyway. We could pull back Raid Leader, play Raid Leader again, get the extra damage. But I think Wind Fury Harpy going out now is more important. So let's do this, and we'll take some damage. We'll send Wind Fury Harpy out, and if this character manages to live longer than a turn, that's pretty important. And we're kind of coming to the end of our rope with respect to cards in our hand. Like we have 4-2-1. That's enough to tap out entirely on the next turn. We'll see what he does. What I'm thinking right now is we attack with Raid Leader, probably against the hero directly. Ancient Brewmaster, pull Raid Leader back, play Raid Leader again, and then we'll get the bonus to Wind Fury Harpy and Spellbreaker. As a result, they'll get +1 damage each, and we'll be able to do some good stuff. That'll be 4 + 2, and we'll be able to also use a Whirlwind. We'll have 7 mana. 4 + 2 + 1. Yeah. Let's see what he does, though. Because obviously, whatever he ends up playing on this turn has an extraordinary impact. Spiteful Smith, he's playing, I guess, because he has to, which is always a reassuring position to be in. And we draw a River Crocolisk. I still like my originally anticipated move here. But we can actually... The Whirlwind is pretty important. And I say that because he'll go down to 5 health, and then we can trade Spellbreaker for that when we play the Raid Leader again. Will this work? I mean, we should do it first because then Raid Leader will take the damage, but then it can come back out. So we'll play 1 mana. 6. Attack. Come back into my hand. It's 4. Wait a minute, let me think about it. 6 mana, 4. So we're down to 2. Then we play Raid Leader again. Okay, I like it. Whirlwind first. 1 damage to all minions, including my own. A little scary. That did 3 damage to me, 1 damage to him. But then we do 2 damage like this. Put Raid Leader back into our hands. Which is a weird... Oh, Raid Leader's 3! I thought for sure Raid Leader was 2 damage. Oh, lordy, lordy. Look who's an idiot. Alright, so we'll... It's a horrible misplay. And he'll be able to sacrifice Spiteful Smith for Wind Fury Harpy. I'm an idiot. That's another oops. And he's probably like, look at this cocky motherfucker. He's got board control right now, and he keeps dropping these oopses on me. Seriously, that is a major problem, though. That was a terrible play for me. Good news is, if he plays a minion, he attacks Wind Fury Harpy with Spiteful Smith. He lives. Wind Fury Harpy dies. I can cleave and then probably sacrifice River Crocodile. Let's see. Oh, he's going to cleave himself. That was pretty good cleave. Whirlwind is going to destroy River Crocodile. It's a lot of mana to not really take out that many creatures, and he can't really use his Stormwind Knight to accomplish that much, it seems. He's just going to hit me directly. Weird choice. And he's not... I was going to say, he's got to kill Wind Fury Harpy. That just can't not happen. Obviously, like, I'm looking at this, and I'm feeling like I'm in a pretty good position. We can't play Cleave, but we can give this minion +3/+3, which makes him very strong. Also, Raid Leader will go out. You get +3/+3. You are now a 9/6 creature. I will hit him directly, and then he's one turn away from death, presumably, but we'll see what this card is. We'll armor up, and, you know, I don't think I've played a particularly strong game here. I think there's been some noted misplays. That being said, we might manage to sneak this one out regardless. He's got 2 cards left. It should be a pretty simple decision. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain +1 attack. That could be very good. Oh, man, that is not going to solve his problem. So that's it. We're going to win this one. Do we deserve to? Valid question. That, obviously, the Frothing Berserker is a little scary, but Shield Block doesn't do anything for us. We'll just hit him directly. So at the very least, we're going to be 1-1. I, you know, sincerely apologize for terrible misplays. Believe you me, they are more hurtful to me than they are to you, as the person who's actually making the dumb decisions. But in any case, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this Hearthstone arena in spite of my misplays. If you liked the video, make sure to click the like button. It does help me out a lot. And a premature thanks for all your support on the series so far. Well, not premature. You know what I mean. Subscribe if you want to see more daily Hearthstone. You can see that my warrior's giving you basically a 2-mana middle finger there. So if you want to see more daily Hearthstone, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment letting me know what I could do better, what you'd like to not like about the episode. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.